Welcome to dubli.com, the future of online shopping. So what is it about Dubli that's unique to online shopping? Well, really it's about two things. First, the reverse auction, and second, the competitive shopping engine. When you combine those two together, it creates a unique shopping experience that positions Dubli to be the Google of online shopping. Now, what I'm going to show you is the reverse auction. The competitive shopping engine won't be released until April 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the international launch of dubli.com in Scottsdale, Arizona. But I can show you the reverse auction. Now, when I say reverse auction, you may be thinking, what's that? I understand how a normal auction works. And so if you were to go to a site like eBay, you would have the opportunity to bid on an item. And as you bid on that item, the price of the item goes up. Well, in a reverse auction, what happens is the price of the item goes down as people participate in that auction. So let me bring your attention to the right-hand side of the screen here, and you can see a number of items that have been purchased in completed auctions. Let's look at this first item, a 40 gigabit Apple TV. The value of that device is $224, and somebody in a reverse auction paid $24 for that. Now, if you go a little bit further down on the screen, you see a Neiman Marcus $500 gift certificate. That item sold for $22. Now, I have to stop and ask you a question here. If you were able to purchase that $500 gift certificate for $22, go to Neiman Marcus and spend that $500, do you think you might tell somebody about that unique shopping experience on dubli.com? Absolutely you would. And that is the basis for the rapid growth of any internet website. That's how Facebook, Twitter, Amazon.com, and Google all grew in popularity. It's through a unique experience, something of value that compelled people to tell other people about that. So the reverse auction is that hook that brings people to the Dubli website, but it's the competitive shopping engine that'll create the real revenue for Dubli. And so here's how that works. Let's say I come back to Dubli and I'm looking for an Apple iPod Classic because I see here that somebody had already bought one for $25 that was normally $250. So let's say I come back in a couple of weeks and I look for that same item. If that item is not available, what Dubli will do, and again this will be launched in a couple of weeks, what Dubli will do is tell you the 3 to 5 places on the internet where you could get that item today for the best price. So when you combine those two things together, knowing that you could save 50 to 75% off of a brand new, brand name item, why would you go anywhere else, especially when you couple that with if you do come to Dubli and that item's not available in a reverse auction, you'll know you'll be able to go to 3 to 5 places and get the best deal. Now, so let's go ahead and go back and talk about how this reverse auction works. So I'm looking for a Nikon digital camera. And this particular camera is the D80, and it currently runs on Amazon for $850, which is actually the start price here on Dubli. So if I want more information on the camera, I just click on the link and it'll bring up a full description of that item. Now, so in a reverse auction, again, the price of the item goes down as people participate in the auction. The way that that happens is that in order to participate in the auction, you need to buy an 80-cent credit. Actually, the minimum purchase on Dubli is 10 credits, which is $8. So you use a credit every time you want to see the price of an item. And what Dubli does is they take 25 cents of that credit and they apply it to lowering the price of the item. So if you had 1,000 people in a 5 to 7 day period all clicking on show price for this camera right here, that would drive the price of that camera down $250. Now, what happens to the other 55 cents of that 80 cents? Well, that actually goes to Dubli as revenue. We'll talk a little bit later about how you can participate in that revenue. But first, let's take a look at what the price is for this camera. So I'm going to take a credit, spend my 80 cents, see the current price, and it's $716.75. That's a pretty good deal. I get to pay almost $130, $135 less than I would pay on Amazon. And so if I wanted to, I could buy that camera right now by clicking that link, inputting my credit card, and having that item show up at my doorstep. However, if I want, I can wait and maybe come back in a day or two and spend another 80 cents and see how much further the price of that camera has dropped. Now, I actually watched this camera about 2 weeks ago, and in that particular auction, it got as low as $537. I decided to wait and see if it would actually drop below 500. Unfortunately, it didn't. Somebody actually bought it at $521. Again, if you were to get this camera that normally sells on Amazon for $850 and spend $300 less, do you think you might tell somebody about it? So, all in all, that's how a reverse auction works. And again, the value that Dubli has created to position itself as being the shopping destination on the website is that if I get these kinds of deals on specific items in a reverse auction, why would I go anywhere else when I get ready to shop for something else down the road? I'm going to come here, see if it's in a reverse auction, and if it's not, Dubli will show me the 3 to 5 places where I can buy that item today at the best price. That, folks, is the future of online shopping.